But we're going to talk about the State of Origin Game 1. Michael, obviously the New South Wales team's going to win. Tell me why.
I think the forwards, and I think they're faster now. I was talking to someone today, and I think the Maroons have got us in the halves, but I think that's it. I think out wide, Inglis has got speed, but all the Blues outside backs have got breakaway speed. I wouldn't say that Hodges is as fast anymore. Slater's maybe a step slower. Tate, Boyd, a little bit slower. Inglis is their shining light, and obviously the best player. But I think up front we can get them, and I think out wide we've got a bit more speed than. And that never used to be the case. So that's what I'm putting it down to. Just a solid game from the halves will be enough to get us across the line.
Well, Anthony, you've won 7 in a row. Hang on a sec. You've won 7 in a row. Now, how the hell does New South Wales become favourite on sports betting and all the sporting betting agencies?
I don't know.
7 in a row. You're going to win it, obviously, and explain to us why.
Look, I don't know. I think the New South Wales media just get themselves up into such a spin that they actually convince themselves that they're going to win, and that they come up with as many conspiracy theories as they possibly can about why Queensland are going to lose. It's been 7 years, guys.
So it's the rats and filth.
I don't think it's rats and filth so much this year, but I think they've just convinced themselves that they're going to do it. And I think, look, they've got no option. They've got to play the mind games. Why Queensland are going to win? Slater, Cronk, Thurston, Inglis. Smith, 4 immortals in waiting in that team. If Thurston's out, you're probably a chance. If Smith's out, you're definitely a chance.
Well, New South Wales have been inching closer and closer each year, and every year it's the same old expectation. We're going to get them this time round. The media plays a big role. Anthony alluded to it. They're always providing that little bit of fodder for Queensland to use and pin it up on their dressing room walls. And this year they're older, they're slower. You look at their spine, Slater, Cronk, Thurston, Smith. The media's saying that they're not in good form. If I'm Mal Meninga, I'd grab that article, I'd pin it against the wall and say, away you go, boys. What do you say? What do you say about that, Mick?
Oh, look, I still think it's the best spine in the history of rugby league. They are older, but I think in favour of New South Wales is Clive Palmer. He gave New South Wales all the ammo they needed. Call Daly a grub.
That's clutching at straws.
That was interesting.
That's the sort of thing in New South Wales what Benny Elias is doing, saying Robbie Farah's now a better hooker than Cameron Smith. And you need that gamesmanship. I just think in the forwards, Queensland look a little skinny on the bench, even up front.
Again, it's that mentality, and that's the only thing that's carrying New South Wales at the moment. It's that false hope that they're a little bit skinny up the middle. Look, Benny Elias coming out and saying Robbie Farah is the best hooker in the game at the moment. I mean, Cam Smith will have that all over camp. Cam Smith will have that on his locker. Cam Smith will have that in his hotel room. He'll be looking at that every day.
I keep telling you, Anthony, it's the same every year. We give them reason to come at us, to feel as though they're underdogs. It's now the TAB's already got them as underdogs, right?
Yeah,
does it feel like the same sort of history repeating itself again? Surely not. Not another year. We can't do another year.
No, it doesn't. I mean, the funny thing is, regardless of how many series New South Wales lose, Origin burns bright. If Queensland were to lose one series, they come out and say Origin's dead. New South Wales are dominated now. We know they're going to say
it's true. They lost 3 in a row, and suddenly Origin's dead. But it's always good when Queensland are winning, but we're not giving it to them, surely.
No, look, it came down to a field goal, 21-20 in the last game in Game 3 last year, which was an epic encounter. And to me, that's as much as there can be that splits the two sides. It's that close.
Let's go back to team selections. When you look at the two teams, it's kind of reversed a little bit in the forwards. Typically, you've had Queensland dominate us in the middle through Sivanasiva, Hannett, and then you've had guys like Shillington and Matt Scott come through. And they've created that space for their brilliant backline to do their magic. This year it's slightly different. Anthony, you've got more mobility, whereas we as in New South Wales have had. Do you think that'll affect the outcome of the game in the sense that you're going to have the ability to create space and opportunity?
Oh, look, I don't think so. I think it's going to be a wet track on Wednesday night. I think you'll need mobile forwards on Wednesday. I've got a feeling that they may start with Parker. I think Shillington might come off the bench.
Where he's been very effective.
He has been very effective in the past. So I've got a feeling that's
start with Thaiday or Nate Miles up front.
Probably start with Nate Miles up front. Miles comes off, Thaiday pushes up, or Matt Scott comes off, and they all just push up. I think that the X factor will be Ben Teo and Gillett. Look, is Ben Teo in the headspace that he needs to be at the moment with what's going on in his life? God, if anyone can pull it together, it's Mal.
Okay, well, over to New South Wales, a bit of controversy from the outset in terms of selection. So much was made about the 17th man. Was it going to be Reynolds? Was it going to be Sutton? Do you think they went the right way, or would you have gone with somebody else?
There's merits for both players. I preferably would have said Sutton is probably the origin style player, for the fact that he's got a good short passing game close to the line, and he's a big mobile 5'8", so I think that would have been a great advantage. But not to take anything away from Josh Reynolds, he's a real terrier type of player, so I think he could be a guy that saves a try with a cover tackle, because he's got that enthusiasm level where he'll always be backing up in both attack and defence. So yeah, I can't really fault Daly for which way he went. I thought Sutton was probably the smarter choice, but Reynolds could be, he could be the game breaker for New South Wales. I mean, in all probability, it's probably going to be Blake Ferguson, as we all know.
Yep. But obviously, it's a Canberra player that's going to be the game breaker.
Oh, you know what? He's actually looking pretty juicy as being for man of the match.
Oh, we'll get onto that in a second. But Thurston, the rumours are that he's had a virus, but then the word has come about that it's not really a virus. He's carrying an injury and he's hiding that. He's camouflaging. He was out signing autographs. And by the way, since when does Queensland actually have a fan day in the middle of the heart of New South Wales? If we did the same thing over there, what do you think will happen?
So you would have got a belt here. It's amazing.
Would have been release of the Rednecks part 4. Anthony, is he going to play Thurston?
Oh, look, I think he'll play. I would take 60% Thurston over probably anyone. I mean, in saying that, you don't lose too much with Daly Cherry Evans. But yeah, if I was New South Wales, I'd still be worried.
Well, the whole of New South Wales are praying that his wife has the baby about 3 hours before kick-off. Clive Palmer can come to the rescue. He's got a jet ready to go. That would make for a lot of intrigue. But so you think Thurston will play?
Look, I think Thurston will play. Whether or not he's 100% fit, again, you don't know. They're not going to tell you we'll play that card till very, very late. But even if he is injured, I don't.
Well, I figure even if he's not playing, every sinew in Cooper Cronk's body will function as a whole, and he'll produce a little bit more magic. What do you make of that article, Mick?
I haven't read the paper, so I don't know the article.
You read that article?
I read that paper. It was like listening to the Buddha talk about football. But, it just shows what kind of bloke he is with regards to his football. He's that focused, and he's that, he's a new style of player.
It sounded like he was on the way.
He should be one of the commentators.
What did he say? He said the moment that he took that field goal, everything went silent. It was like, what are you smoking, man?
Yeah, we're not in Switzerland, Cooper. Okay,
he should be one of those
legal in Australia.
One of those bikey rings for the 1%. Because he is one of those guys who puts in that extra 1% to make a difference.
Yeah,
his preparation is spot on, and you just see it in the way he plays. Like, he's his own harshest critic as well, and I think that's what makes him the best halfback in the game today.
What did he say? He's not chasing shadows. That was his line.
It was very prophetic, wasn't it? Yeah, very profound. But that could be the new generation of footballer. It's a bit refreshing, hearing responses that aren't just yeah, she'll be right.
You know, don't get me started on footballers and their responses. Media managers should be shot, you know. It's the same line. We're focused on the weekend's game. That's all we're focusing on. You know, it's nice to see them talking about something other than the weekend's game.
You mentioned Ben Teo. What is the latest with Ben Teo? Is he looking at that court case? Is that being deferred? Where is he at with that?
You know what? It's with Queensland Police.
I smell conspiracy there.
It's with Queensland. It's with Queensland Police. Like they're going to lay any charges before Origin.
Darius Boyd, Ben Teo. We'll leave them alone, boys.
Look,
is this Clive Palmer's intervention as well?
I don't think so. I think it's probably Campbell Newman's.
If it was New South Wales Police, he'd probably be charged and locked up by now. It's Queensland Police. Nothing's happening till after Wednesday. The investigation's on hold.
I personally think that Josh Papali's a better player than Ben Teo, and he would be.
Why does that surprise me that you would think?
No bias. So I reckon he'd be damaging for Queensland off the bench. Do you see the hit that he put on?
The smallest player on the field. Come on.
Was it Terry Evans that he hit again? No, Bureau. Jamie Bureau. That's right.
Yeah, it was a good hit. It was a massive hit, and he's an impact player. So I'm sure Mal wouldn't lose much if Teo were to.
You got 18th and 19th man there. You're not going to lose anything with DCE or with what's his name, Papali coming off the bench. Either way, you're screwed.
Well, don't you hate that with Queensland? They probably have a second Queensland team that would probably push us to the limit.
I think it's good though. I think it sort of secures the future of Origin for years to come, and you've got players like Cherry Evans and Papali who can step in. Papali's only 2021, and Cherry Evans is still young, and he's regarded as one of the best halves in the game. So I think from Queensland's point of view, they'll just be able to pull some of the older guys out when they're done. So maybe Hannett may have seen his last series this year if he comes back. But someone like Papali and Hod, Papali's going to step in. I mean, if you went through each team, you would find Milford for the Raiders is a Queenslander as well. And he's probably 2 to 3 years away, but he's got it written all over him. So, I think for the future of Origin, there's enough talent north of the border to keep him strong for another decade.
Well, that's Queensland, and who cares about them? In terms of the depth for New South Wales, I know I would have had Tim Grant in there, either him or Aaron Wood, because we've got enough players who are versatile enough to cover, say, half and the back line, as the hooker in the back line. I would have gone for Tim Grant. He had a great year last year, and he's got the mongrel to be able to give it to the Queenslanders. You think he was unlucky, or do you have anyone else for that matter?
No, I think he was unlucky. I think Gallen was probably, for me, better placed at lock, and Tim Grant with Tamo up front was a slightly more intimidating pack. From New South Wales' point of view, the one thing they've got in abundance is back rowers. They're going to have that, and they just seem to produce them. You've got guys like Boyd Cordner. He's an Origin level player. Joel Thompson, even though he's not going to be a Raider, he's still a...
Josh Jackson.
And the other bloke, Finucane from the Dogs. Like, there's enough back row talent. Even Fenson is a 60 tackle a game sort of bloke, and Penrith seem to be unearthing that Moylan, the fullback. He's going to be a gun.
And they're locked forward as well. Looks like he's got a lot of talent as well.
So
there's plenty there.
Yeah, plenty there. I think the development for years to come will be really solid. I mean, Carney didn't get a look in. He's just turning 27.
Do you think he's on the outer?
No, I think it's a wait and see approach. I think Maloney will be given just the one game, and if he doesn't step up, I think they'll go.
But that's typical New South Wales.
It is.
You know, Queensland will just stick
churn and burn. Churn and burn. That's. I'm sure they've got that written up somewhere.
It's the script. We've got to follow the script. Unbelievable. Anyway, we're running out of time. Just very quickly, obviously New South Wales will win. By how much, and who's your man of the match, and maybe even first try scorer to boot?
I'm going to say New South Wales by 12. I'm going Greg Bird, man of the match. His ball work in Origin is sublime. He's just such a danger. First try scorer, I'm going to go Paul Gallen.
Paul Gallen, through the middle. Anthony, Queensland by how much?
I think Queensland by 8. I think it'll be it won't be a high scoring game. First try scorer, I'm going to go with Inglis.
Good job.
Easy. Not hard to see why.
Man of the match, Cameron Smith.
Well, for the record,
It's a safe bet.
Well, for the record, Thurston's won 4 Man of the Match awards in Origin. He's the leading, no one else. Oh, sorry, besides Lewis, obviously, who's got 8.
Yep.
Cameron Smith 3. Greg Bird's had 3. So, so it's interesting you guys went with the guys who have done it before. Just for the record, I think New South Wales will win.